Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball. Right now joining us is Bruce Dickinson, who we figured, as we were talking earlier, even though we've spoke to each other several times, and you've hosted Headbangers Ball before, we've never been on the show together. It was either you guys doing it from like Montreal or...
Never been in the same camera shot.
Because people were saying, you know, you've never seen Ricky Rackman and Bruce Dickinson at the same place together, so...
Now you know.
The rumors, the truth is out. But you've got another record that just came out 4 days ago.
Yep, Balls to Picasso.
Now, in a sense, this is, I mean, it's the second solo record, but it's the first one since you, because when you put out the other record with Tattooed Millionaire, you were still a singer of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, well, what I figured was that every record I ever did my whole life, I did for somebody else.
But what about the first Bruce Dickinson record?
Yeah, I was still in Maiden, so Maiden was still like, you know, my #1 priority. And so it was kind of a part-time record. And we wrote it in 10 days. Because it was something to do in the summer. You know, the studio was empty.
It was just a fun type of thing.
Let's go have some fun and make a record, you know. And anyhow, my friend Yannick was gonna sell his equipment and quit playing guitar if he didn't make a record soon. So that was kind of like, that's a tragedy, you know. So we got to make a record. And that's what we did. So I kind of had it sort of like a bit limited, you know, fairly traditional, you know, nothing too out there. And then when I started to make this second solo album, I thought, well, maybe I should make a record that is a bit more radical and that really does reflect exactly what I want to do.
Because you're doing pretty, like you just said, you're doing whatever you want to do on this record.
Yeah.
You have the final say and everything like that.
Yeah, and that kind of opened Pandora's box, because I realized that if I was actually going to do that, what I had to do was leave Iron Maiden. Because...
Stop with that thought. We're going to come back. We're going to find out about the leaving Iron Maiden and more stuff about Bruce Dickinson. So stay tuned. We got more Headbangers Ball. We're back with Bruce Dickinson, and as we were saying just before, that you have officially left Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, I mean, I quit, God, probably a year and a half ago. I actually, you know, pulled in Rod, who's my manager, and still my manager, you know. And I played him some of the stuff I'd been tinkering around with, because I recorded like 2 entire albums of material, all different stuff, before starting to record Balls to Picasso even. So, I mean, I was really in a whole big process of trying to find out what it was that I wanted to do. And the decision to leave Iron Maiden was it was a difficult one, but it didn't take that long.
Was it on good terms? I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
You're still talking to the guy?
I mean, we're the same record company in the rest of the world, you know, in EMI, it's same manager, same officers, same whole situation, you know. I mean, Yannick, who's always been a friend of mine for a long time before Maiden, he lives across the street from me.
Mm-hmm. So it was just something that you really had to do. You had to go. And...
It was nothing to do with. It was nothing to do with them, if you see what I mean. It was all to do with me, the way that I felt about music, the way I felt about my life, about my emotional life, everything that I wanted to reflect in the music that I did, and I felt that I couldn't somehow put it into the framework that the Iron Maiden guys were happy playing with.
Who are the members that you have playing with you now?
Well, the guys I did the record with were a bunch of guys I met in Los Angeles, a band called the Tribe of Gypsies. I started writing some songs with their guitarist, Roy Z. And the reason I got involved with them was because I was trying to get them, or help them, to get a record deal, because I thought they were a really cool band. As it turned out, I started writing songs with Roy. He was like a huge fan of even like early stuff I did, Samson stuff, before Maiden. He gave me some riffs, we started writing, we wrote a couple of tunes, we wrote a couple more, and then I went, this stuff is really cool, it's got its own direction, it's got its own vibe. The 2 albums I did before were good, but this just seems to be so like focused, let's go with this. Of course, by now the bank manager was screaming.
We gotta catch up again. We're gonna find out about more stuff with Bruce Dickinson, so stay tuned. We got much more Headbangers Ball. Back on the Headbangers Ball, we're here with Bruce Dickinson, and we're about to play a video from the new record, Tears of a Dragon.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the song, because this was a song that gave you a little bit of trouble in the recording.
This song survived all 3 albums, and it changed on each album. The process I was going through and the doubts that were in my mind about whether or not I could be creative in a new way after 12 years with the same band and the same people. The fear that, you know, oh my God, what happens if I put this record out and nobody buys it? You know, all those kind of thoughts.
Because is that a fear? I mean, everybody knows, okay, Bruce Dickinson, everybody, a lot of the people know you, but are you always scared when you're putting, I mean, was it always that way, even with Maiden?
Of course,
you're always like,
of course I'm. You're not going to believe this, but for the life of me, when I'm doing something, and I get involved in something, I get really committed to it, I go for it, and then I finish it, and I'm just like absolutely besieged by terror. That, why would anybody like this? You know? And I'm just like, well, I like it, but I don't, oh God, you know, I don't know if anybody else is going to like this.
But you've got to do stuff that you like rather than saying, well, I hope this is what all the kids are into right now.
Oh yeah, quite. I mean, and what happened with this record was that there was a kind of an insanity, particularly because, I mean, making the first record, I'd spent the advance. You know, making the second record, I spent all my own money. Making the third record, I was spending money that basically I didn't have. Mm-hmm. And when we recorded Tears of the Dragon, that was one of the last tracks we recorded, and Roy and the producer wanted to record it again. And I went like, we've done it already.
Let's play the video, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about that song.
Yeah.
So, lead into the video. Tell us.
Oh, well, I just was.
Well, go ahead. But
Tears of the Dragon.
There you go.
And it's cool.
You just saw the latest video from Bruce Dickinson, and how much say do you have in the making of videos? Like, did somebody come up to you with an idea? Because I watch a video, it's a good video. I don't understand it though. I mean,
you don't?
No. Does it intertwine, or is it just a lot of cool images that are good to look at, or does it mean something that I'm just completely clueless on?
Oh, you need to watch it a lot.
So that's what it takes. Explain it.
No.
Like, did you say? Because you don't understand. Did somebody just give you an idea and say, okay, we want this guy, this big fat guy, to be standing here doing this, and then we want you to go in the water, and then we want this big fat guy? I mean, did anybody give those, or were those images that were important to you to have in the video, or?
The water images were very important, and the big totem pole thing was very important to me. The other images we worked in with the director, and most of them refer to a lot of those images refer in part to the lyrics. Some of them are kind of
The song isn't about a dragon then?
Nothing to do with dragons whatsoever. I actually don't know why the song is called Tears of the Dragon, and I wrote it. I think that's cool, because I don't think you should know everything about what you do.
Do you sometimes, though, go back and look at your lyrics and able to look at them almost as an outsider, like you write them and go, wow, that's kind of cool. Well, I wonder what I was thinking when I came up with that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because that's kind of neat, I think.
But that's one of the things that makes songs last, that you can keep going back to them. And one of the things that I like about the video is you should watch it with your girlfriend.
So that's what it is.
It's a lot of women watch the video and they understand. It's not an obvious.
I think she'd look at the naked fat guy and relate to that guy and say, you know, Ricky. Stay tuned. We're going to come back and talk to Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Here on the Headbangers Ball, Bruce Dickinson. We were just talking about books that you earlier wrote. Because I just remembered that you had written some books.
Couple, yeah.
And what was this?
They were sort of obscene comic farces.
So I guess I was completely off in thinking that you wrote a children's book, where I got that from.
Yeah.
It must be confused with you and Johnny Cash. That was it. Johnny Cash wrote the children's book.
Yeah, they're definitely not children's books. In fact, we had complaints in the British Houses of Parliament that people might think they were children's books.
Because was it a drawing on the front, or was it?
Yeah, but if you look closely, I mean, it's a bulimic woman being purged of like projectile vomiting by a guy dressed as a preacher in women's underwear.
The confusion why it would be. See, that's why I automatically.
That's why
figured
you thought it was a children's book.
Preacher throwing up. So you basically don't have any downtime. I mean, during Iron Maiden, even you were working on solo stuff. And then, after the solo stuff, you were doing books. Are you still writing now, or
during the Maiden time, I was doing the books. I mean, the first book I wrote back in '85, and it took a couple of years for it to get published, and then it got published and it sold a lot, and so they said, write another one, you know. So I like bashed away and wrote another one.
When you're writing a book, is it sort of the same way that you would write music, or do you just kind of? I mean, I'm sure the books take a lot longer. And it's just like
it's just really, really hard work. It's hard slog writing a book.
What kind of writing are they? Is it their story?
Yeah, it's novel.
So you wrote a novel.
200 and something, 30 pages, 40 pages, the second one, and whatever it was the first one.
We're going to come back and we're going to talk to Bruce Dickinson. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball, and we're talking to Bruce Dickinson. New record came out 4 days ago called
Balls to Picasso.
Where'd you get the title Balls to Picasso?
Well, you say urinal and we say urinal, but it's the fourth...
Bathroom.
Urinal.
Toilet.
Urinal.
Urinal.
It was above the urinal at university 15 years ago. Written.
Graffiti.
Forever. Immortalized.
Some
Balls to
guy's gonna
Picasso.
say, hey, I wrote that on that.
That's
above that
right.
toilet. Where's my money?
Yeah, probably. Yes.
So now that the record's done, and I mean, you said you even got that kind of scared feeling. For people that want to go out and buy the Bruce Dickinson record, what type of music are they going to hear? Are they going to hear something that's completely different than Iron Maiden? Because it's still got the singer that was in Iron Maiden, so people are going to automatically think, oh, Iron Maiden. But tell me how this completely differs from anything you've done before.
Well, it's what I was trying to put in this record was a whole bunch of influences that you wouldn't normally get in hard rock music. So
Like?
we had a bunch of Latino, Mexican American rock musicians, and we stole a bunch of Tamla Motown riffs and put them in as the bass rhythm tracks. Whacked in a load of African and Latin percussion, mixed all that in so you couldn't hear it, but it made your butt jiggle.
So these kind of things that you wanted to do before with Maiden, but couldn't really do it?
Well, it's kinds of things that you find out that you can do. Like there's a couple of tracks where there's a bit of rapping involved. There's a couple of tracks where
Do you do the rapping?
Yeah.
Or?
You know, and stuff like that. It's like, wow, you can do that. There's a couple of things, there's a couple of real heavy reggae things on there, you know. And the thing is that the whole thing is meshed together by this raging slabs of guitar. This is some of the heaviest music I've ever made in my life. You know, and at the same time, some of the coolest and some of the weirdest, you know. You won't hear another record like this year.
Well, the new record is out. It came out 4 days ago, called Balls to Picasso. It's Bruce Dickinson. Thanks again for stopping by. And on the road real quick, when are we going to see you live?
ASAP, as soon as I can possibly get out there. I've got a real young band, 19-year-old Italian drummer.
So they want to get out there and play.
Yeah,
It's all
a
new to them.
couple of 24-year-olds on guitar and bass, stripped down, you know.
We'll keep you updated on Bruce Dickinson tour plans. Stay tuned because we still got more of the ball.